The average emergency food kit on Amazon costs $270. It feeds one person for 72 hours, and it expires in 3 to 5 years. Meanwhile, there are 10 items sitting on every Walmart shelf right now, each under $2, that will outlast you, your children, and probably your grandchildren. And most preppers walk right past them. I verified every single price on this list this month. No $4 ghee that actually costs $9. No fantasy numbers, just real shelf prices, real shelf lives, and real meals you can actually make when everything else runs out. By the time we get to number 1, you'll understand why a $19 grocery run protects your family better than any $270 kit ever could. 10. Iodized salt. This is the one item that literally cannot expire. Not in 10 years, not in 100, not in 1,000. Salt is a mineral. It doesn't rot, it doesn't oxidize, it doesn't go bad. The expiration date on the container is for the container, not the salt. But here's what most people miss. Salt isn't just seasoning. In a crisis, salt is preservation technology. Before refrigeration existed, salt was how the entire world kept food safe. You can cure meat with it. You can ferment vegetables with it. You can make a rehydration solution with salt, sugar, and water that the World Health Organization still uses today in disaster zones. One 26-ounce container at Walmart, 78 cents. That's not a food item, that's an infrastructure investment. 9. White rice. Not brown rice, white rice. And here's why that distinction matters more than most people realize. Brown rice has oils in the bran layer. Those oils go rancid within 6 to 12 months. White rice, with that bran stripped away, lasts 25 to 30 years when stored properly. Researchers at Brigham Young University tested sealed white rice after 30 years. Nutritionally identical. Taste? Acceptable. 1 pound of dry white rice produces roughly 10 servings of cooked rice. At $1.62 a pound, that's 16 cents per meal. There is no cheaper calorie source on earth that stores this long. Seal it in a Mylar bag with an oxygen absorber, and your grandchildren will still be eating it. 8. Dried pinto beans. Here's what rice alone can't do. Rice gives you energy, but rice is an incomplete protein. Your body needs amino acids it can't get from rice alone. Pinto beans fix that. Rice and beans together form a complete protein. Every amino acid your body needs. This isn't survival theory. This is how half the world's population actually eats every single day right now. 1 pound of dried pinto beans produces about 12 servings. Shelf life, properly stored, 10 years minimum. Some sources say 30. But here's the detail the other channels never mention. You need water to cook dried beans. A lot of it. In a grid-down scenario where water is limited, that's a problem. So stock canned beans too for the first 72 hours. After that, once you've secured a water source, switch to dried. That one adjustment separates a real plan from a YouTube list. 7. Rolled oats. Oats don't get the attention they deserve in the prepping world. Everyone talks about rice. Nobody talks about breakfast. When the grid goes down, the first meal people struggle with is breakfast. Cereal goes stale. Bread molds. Eggs spoil. Oats? Sealed in a cool, dry place, rolled oats last 20 to 30 years, and they require almost no preparation. You don't even need heat. Soak them in cold water overnight. Done. That matters when fuel is limited. One 42-ounce container at Walmart, $1.98. That's roughly 30 servings. Under 7 cents per breakfast. Combine them with the honey from number 1 on this list, and you have a meal that's genuinely good. Not survival good. Actually good. 6. Apple cider vinegar. Most prepper lists skip this entirely. That's a mistake. Vinegar is one of the oldest preservation tools in human history. You can pickle vegetables with it, extending their shelf life by months. You can use it as a surface disinfectant. You can make a basic wound wash in an emergency. The shelf life of apple cider vinegar is essentially indefinite. The acidity prevents any bacterial growth. The mother that forms at the bottom, that's not spoilage. That's actually a sign the vinegar is still alive and working. One 16-ounce bottle at Walmart, $1.97. Multi-use, indefinite shelf life, and almost nobody stocks it. 5. Ramen noodles. Yes, ramen. And no, not because it's healthy, because it solves a specific problem nobody talks about. In the first 72 hours of any crisis, Your biggest enemy isn't hunger, it's morale, especially if you have children. Cold beans and dry rice will keep you alive, but they won't keep a 6-year-old from falling apart. Ramen cooks in 3 minutes, it uses minimal water, it tastes like something familiar. In a psychological emergency, familiarity is a survival tool. Shelf life is 8 to 12 months for the noodles, longer if you remove the seasoning packet and store them separately. At 24 cents per pack, stock 50 of them. That's $12 for 50 hot meals that cook in 3 minutes with almost no fuel. Don't build your plan around ramen, but include it. Your family will thank you on day 2. 4. Popcorn kernels. This is the one nobody expects. Unpopped popcorn kernels are a whole grain. They store for decades. And here's the part most channels miss entirely. You can grind them. Run popcorn kernels through any hand crank grain mill, and you get cornmeal. From cornmeal, you get cornbread, tortillas, polenta, porridge. One item, 5 different meals. And if you don't grind them, pop them over a fire. It takes 3 minutes, it uses no water, and it gives your family something that feels normal when nothing else does. 1 2-pound jar at Walmart, $1.82. Store it sealed, keep it dry, and it's good for 20 years, possibly longer. 3. Baking soda. This is not a food item. This is a 15-in-1 survival tool disguised as a food item. Baking soda is a leavening agent, obviously. Combine it with vinegar from number 6 and you can make flatbread rise without yeast, but that's maybe 10% of why it's on this list. It's a toothpaste substitute, a deodorant, an antacid for the stomach issues that will absolutely happen when your diet changes overnight. It's a fire extinguisher for grease fires, a cleaning agent for cookware, a produce wash, and in a pinch, a wound cleaner. One 16-ounce box at Walmart, 75 cents. Shelf life? It doesn't have one. Baking soda is sodium bicarbonate, a mineral compound. Like salt, it simply doesn't expire. 75 cents. No expiration. 15 uses. Nothing else on this list even comes close to that value ratio. 2. Bouillon powder. Here's the problem nobody warns you about. After 2 weeks of eating stockpile food, everything tastes the same. Rice tastes like nothing, beans taste like beans, oats taste like cardboard. Flavor fatigue is real, and it kills morale faster than hunger does. Bouillon powder fixes this. 1 teaspoon turns a pot of plain rice and beans into something that tastes like actual soup. It turns boiled water into broth. It makes bland food tolerable and tolerable food genuinely satisfying. 1 7.9-ounce jar of chicken bouillon at Walmart, $1.47. That's roughly 50 servings of broth. The survivalists who actually live through extended emergencies, not the ones who theorize about them on YouTube, all say the same thing. Seasoning is not optional. It is a core supply. Bouillon is the cheapest way to stock it. 1. Raw honey. Archaeologists found 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian tombs. It was still edible. That's not folklore. That's published research from multiple universities. Honey's combination of low moisture content, high acidity, and natural hydrogen peroxide production makes it one of the only foods on Earth that genuinely never expires. Not lasts a long time, never. But honey isn't just a sweetener, it's a topical antibiotic. Medical-grade honey is used in hospitals right now to treat burns and wounds. In a crisis without access to pharmacies, raw honey applied to a minor wound prevents infection. That's not alternative medicine, that's peer-reviewed science. Stir it into oatmeal from number 7. Drizzle it over cornbread from number 4. Use it to treat a cut when you can't get to a doctor. 1 bear bottle at Walmart, $1.97. Infinite shelf life. Food, medicine, and morale in 1 container. That's why it's number 1. 10 items. Total cost $15.73. Every price verified this month at Walmart. That's not a survival kit, that's a foundation. The starting point for a pantry that can genuinely carry your family through a 30-day disruption. I built a free checklist that breaks this down further. All 10 items, exact aisle locations, a 30-day meal rotation plan using only these ingredients, and 5 bonus items under $3 that fill the gaps. Link is in the description. The best time to build this stockpile was last year. The second best time is your next grocery run. If this was useful, subscribe. Next video covers what happens to all of these items when the power goes out for 7 days and the 3 critical mistakes most people make in the first 24 hours.